Hi guys, it's me and I'm back today with another video. This time, this video was carefully thought out and planned. My attire that I have on today, I'm going for that little Asian geisha look. For those of you who do not know, I love the Asian culture. It's kind of how I consider my upbringing, very strict and stern. So I just love the Asian culture because they try and they work so hard at everything that they do to become masters. So namaste. This is an appreciation. You know we all are Asian. So I'm gonna sip some of my tea. It's pretty hot, but I'm gonna take a little sip to see if it's doable. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna sip it. So in today's video, I am gonna be talking about my experience with triple numbers and more than quadruple numbers actually, with the quadruple numbers that have been showing up on numerous occasions throughout my journey. Like, I don't know. So I actually took the time to write them down and actually write down the meaning of what the numbers mean. And then I am going to share an experience with you that I had to let me know that this affirmation was real, that these affirmations that I get are real. So I'm not gonna have the book on camera. I only did about 4 numbers because throughout my experience, and I don't know why I'm popping my thing. Maybe the little ratchet is coming out, but it's because of my throat. I'm not even gonna lie. So the first reoccurring I keep saying triple. The first reoccurring quadruple number that I'm going to talk about is 222. 2222. Yeah. 2222. Sounds crazy when you say it fast like that. But I wrote down that it meant balance and equilibrium should be guiding your life right now. So what I took that as, balance and equilibrium. Equilibrium is a Latin word for weight. So I guess weight, you balance your weight. I'm balanced. Whoa. What is going on, Deja? So I took that as I'm balancing my weight and the weight of my physical body and the weight of my problems that are, well, not problems. I don't want to call them problems. Priorities. The weight of my priorities that are weighing in on me, I have to balance it. So in the past couple of weeks, I have been being more mindful of what I've eaten. I've been actually fasting for the first part of my days. And I find that I am not editing this. And I find that with fasting, I have more of a clearer headspace and I am more creative and I think of great things that I could do to help my situation that I'm currently experiencing right now. It's just a growing pain. It's not nothing that the average person doesn't experience throughout figuring out life and on their journey. So I have more of a clear headspace and a peace of mind when I just wake up. I sip my bottle of water. I'll sleep with a bottle of water inside the bed, and then I keep one with me in the car at all times. And that is the main thing that I'm proud of myself about on this journey, because growing up, I never really liked to drink water. A lot of us don't like to drink water. We always feel like we have to drink something that has a sort of a taste or a sugary substance that substitute the liquid, So I've been drinking a lot of more water. Excuse me. And I've been focusing on the pH levels in the water and how many ounces of water that I drink And I find that like my mind is not so cloudy. I've been taking my vitamins. I've been picking and choosing my battles and what's more needed, what's more of a priority in certain situations opposed to things that I just want. So I would buy vitamins over takeout. I just recently cleaned up our entire apartment a couple days ago. It took me a while to get started, but I find that in me cleaning up, I have I have a better peace of mind. And I don't know if you guys has read this anywhere, but it says somewhere I read or I looked up or I saw somewhere that your home and your car represents, or any place in your home, it represents a certain space in your mind and how the way your mind works and how it's set up. Now, I'm a procrastinator, but I also have OCD. So it's like I like for my stuff to be a mess until I'm ready to do it. I'm really not one of those people who likes for people to clean up my mess or do stuff for me. I like to kind of figure it out, take the time to do it myself and calm down and then come back to it. Like if I don't do it, I'm gonna come back to it. So the only thing that I would have to say that I know I need to work on is my paperwork, like my mail. I don't open a lot of my mail, my bills and stuff. I just feel like I don't want to read and open anything that's gonna distract me for what I'm doing right now and what the consistency that I am seeking and that I'm working towards. I don't want to look at something that's negative, even though I know it's a priority. I pretty much know my bills that I have to pay. They're usually like medical, like hospital, just minor stuff, because everything else I have an app to keep track of my spending. But my main goal right now is just getting out there every day and hustling. And I feel like with me cleaning up my house and straightening up certain things and organizing, it freed me. It freed my mind. It's decluttered, you know? So when I walk in, even though if I'm having a bad day, if I don't mean I come in and I look around and I smell, I go out on the balcony or I go in the bathroom and everything is in place, that makes me feel good. So that is what equilibrium and balance means to me. I am an intellectual, so I do like to just read information for no reason. Like I just like to find out new things and learn. Like with me being in this solitude that I'm in, I am like a bookworm. I want to intake all the necessary information to me that I think is unique and my mind is going to help me grow as an individual. And those are things that help me, like what this stuff, what my surroundings being decluttered and my car. Like I think today I'm going to work on wiping the windows of my car, maybe go get a car wash. I've been kind of putting that off because the pollen here is like, as soon as you get a car wash in the next 2 days, like you look like you didn't have a car wash. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. There's certain things you just need to do just to feel good, and it helps. So that's what 222 mean to me. I know that was a long explanation, but these are just my experiences with what these meanings mean to me. And when I'm seeing them, when I'm out on the road driving, I'm usually thinking about something that pertains to that number. I don't know if any of you have those type of experiences, but I know I do. And like I always get these moments when I see these numbers and I look around to recap, like take a photographic memory in my mind to remember what I saw when I was in that moment of seeing that number. Oftentimes I travel with my notebook or a notepad, and whatever I'm feeling in that moment, I just jot it down. So these are things that I do. I don't know if you're interested in doing them, but that's what I do. Moving on to the second number, which I see more than often. Usually the first 15 minutes that I'm outside, I see this number. And this number is quadruple 9 or sometimes triple. Mostly triple 9, but quadruple 9 a few times I have saw it. So the meaning of the quadruple 9s, 9999, is hope and encouragement. If you are going through anything, just know that it will be temporary. These are sometimes reminders that I need to give myself. And often when I see these numbers, like I always look up what the meaning means afterwards. But I feel like me studying them on a day-to-day basis will help me to grow stronger and just my self-assurance and, you know, just to have a freer, clear, more positive mind. Oftentimes we fill ourselves up with negative thoughts, more often than positive thoughts. I mean, even growing up as a adolescent, a preteen, teenager, and early adulthood, in my family's culture, my upbringing, I learned from my aunt to always assume the worst. And I understand that her intentions may have been for me to just be prepared for anything and not to let it knock me down. But sometimes everybody is not as vocal and speaking and emotional as me, is what I realized. So, you know, me looking back in retrospect of her telling me that, the way I thought as a young girl as to now is completely and totally different. And if I could go back into the past to speak to myself, one thing I would say to myself is take everything that a person says with a grain of salt, and to also remember that things that people say to you, such as advice or experiences, are solely based off of their perception. It doesn't mean that just because something happened to them this way that it will necessarily happen to you in that same way, because our minds are all different. Our understandings, our values, our morals, our concepts of how we see things, just everything is, we're different DNAs. So the way a certain individual might receive an experience may be different opposed to the way you might receive an experience. So the hope and encouragement it sticks out to me because I always grew up expecting the worst, thinking the worst, being fearful of the worst. So I was always scared. I was always afraid. I always panicked. I lived in trauma and anxiety, and the hope and encouragement is something that I always needed. So me seeing these numbers, some people are not into these numbers, but I am. I believe that nothing happens by coincidence. Absolutely nothing. So with me seeing these numbers, especially in the times that I see them when I'm all in my mind, Geminis, we are always all in our mind because we are introverted, extroverted people, and excuse the sound in the back. We just don't like messing up. We don't like unnecessary mistakes. We understand that mistakes are meant to mold us and shape us and help us grow, but things that could be prevented, we tend to dwell on them a lot more than others. And this is coming from personal experience because I do it almost every other day. So hope and encouragement. If you could think of a time where you needed hope and encouragement in a particular situation that you were in, and it just seemed like you couldn't get that type of, understanding or comfortability from a person, these numbers are for you. If you're a person who sees reoccurring numbers and always take it as, oh, I'm gonna play this number, or, oh, like you just look at it like, oh, like, no, it really means something. And I feel like a lot of indigo children or adults, indigo children, chosen ones, star seeds, black sheep, the list goes on and on pretty much. If you're if you're always the person in the family, or the friendship, or whatever your environment is, that's always singled out or always being made feel like what you think or how you see things or anything is just like insubmissible or it should just be swept under the rug, more than likely you are the only one that's awake, and the people that are around you, more than likely, they are trying to close your mind up because they see that it is very expansive compared to theirs. And in this generation and even generations before us, elders, people who are older than us, looking down at the ones who are coming up, such as ourselves, or even people who are younger than me, in the culture, in my culture, our culture, it's kind of frowned up upon for a younger person to exceed so many hurdles, jump over so many hurdles, and listen to their own mind and progress in life without offending people who came before them. Because instead of them congratulating you, it's more so like they put themselves in your shoes, or they compare themselves to you. Like, even if you want to help somebody that's older than you, I've experienced this stuff in my life. Most of the time they won't take anything from you, or they'll act like they're okay around other people and they won't accept it from you. But then when it's just you and them, and they feel free to be vulnerable, because if you're a person like me, people have the tendency of feeling very comfortable being themselves around us because we don't judge. I don't judge people. So it's like the mask comes off and they get to actually pick your brain and listen to what you say in private. But that stuff with the older people always has to be kept in private, because to them, especially if they have more accolades and more things, more notches on their belt than you, and they live longer than you, and they have more things than you, for some reason in their mind, they feel that they have to maintain that image, and they can't really give you props outside of that, because for some reason they think it harms their character, but it really doesn't. Like my nana always told me, and I think I said this before the other day in my video, you're never too young to teach and you're never too old to learn. I live by it. Those are one of the sayings that I live by, because trust me, a lot of younger kids have taught me things too, especially with all these social media sites and stuff that they got out there. So know that it will be temporary. But the last thing that I want to say about quadruple nines is with the hope and encouragement. So if you're going through anything, just know that it's temporary. If you go into a situation, it doesn't matter how bad it is. If you go into a situation with a positive mind, no matter how bad the situation is, I can guarantee you that your outcome will be much, much better than it would if you went into a situation with a nasty attitude, thinking the worst. When in bad situations, always go into them with the purest heart and intentions, because you will be blessed. Trust me, I've experienced it. So moving on to quadruple 777. I love 777. 7, I feel like it's the lucky numbers. I've always felt like 777 was lucky before I even knew what spirituality was, like 9 and 6 and stuff years old. So it says, stay strong and trust in your wisdom. Keep persevering on your life path with a positive attitude, even though you are being faced with many challenges. Much like 999, this one is when you are doing good. So what I realized a lot of times in my experience and I've experienced this type of stuff since I was young. So I really do feel like I'm a guru. That's why I feel like this look, the Asian culture really fits my aesthetic, because these are life lessons that I live by since I can remember. I just have never been able to formulate them into words, because I didn't know that it was an actual thing. I just really thought that, I was cursed in this life, and that I'm experiencing all these bad things in my life, and this planet, because in my afterlife, when I go into my afterlife, I'm gonna be blessed. But just recently, some years ago, I started to feel like, no. I started to have these epiphanies come to me out of nowhere. Like, why would God want me? Why would the universe want me? Why would Mother Nature, why would all my practices and studies want me to work so hard and diligently on myself and how I treat others in disciplining, to receive my blessings after I leave this earth? I believe that there is a heaven on earth, and you just gotta block out the naysayers. You gotta block out the people that's still living in the matrix, because that is their very job. Their very job is to knock you off your path and to get you defocused and focus more on the thing that they're focused on, so that they can feel better about themselves. A lot of times, people who are not going anywhere in their life, they get intimidated and they get very jealous of people who have minds and paths of their own. So they make it their life focus and their life goals to deter these people from their path. And I don't know why they're like this. I don't know why it makes them feel good. I don't know why. For every good person that there is on earth, there's a bad person. You know what I mean? So you just got to look at things like that's their purpose in life. Some people's purpose in life is to be negative. Everybody can't be positive, even though if they were, the world would be a much better place because there would be more help. Think about it. If everybody on earth was positive, there probably would be no homelessness. There would be no starvation. There would be no high paying for food. You know, what are we dealing with right now? Inflation. All of this stuff wouldn't exist, but neither would blessings either. Like if you think about it, for every good, there is a bad. So it's just balance, bringing it back to 2. The world needs balance to go, good and bad. If everything was good, and it was on a balance beam, and everything was good, the balance beam would be like this, and everything would be up. Like you can't survive. Too much good is bad for you. Okay, it's bad for you. I'm gonna just put it like that. So when it says to keep a positive attitude, that's what I live by. Like, I'll give you a little bit of detail about myself. I grew up in poverty. I have always been the oddball, no matter what surrounding I put myself in. Whether it was around family on my mom's side, whether it was around family on my dad's side, whether it was around family in marriage, whether I was around cousins, it doesn't matter. Like, I've always had this charismatic, loud, sensational, dramatic personality, and I don't think that's ever gonna go away. That's literally who I am. So oftentimes I would get picked on for always having this cheery, upbeat attitude. And I mean, even in some of the worst times in my life, looking back in retrospect, I was going through hell. You know what I mean? I always wore a smile. So I feel like it made a lot of people who were around me, because I attract a lot of people around me in which I thought were friends and all sorts of things. And I had to find out the hard way, which is okay because it was a lesson and it made me grow stronger in wisdom and just inside spiritually. But people will attract themselves to me, and then they'll get around me and they'll start, you know, picking on me or slandering me, saying certain things about me, trying to knock my self-esteem down. Like, I guess trying to test to see if I was truly authentic. But I mean, growing up around my family, like I said, I've always been picked on. So I always feel like family, my family at least, they gave me practice for what is out there in the real world. And I feel the same way about my relationships that I've had up until this point. That at first I felt like I was missing or lacking something, to now understand that it was the universe pushing me further to my person and my purpose, and making sure that I reach my purpose before I meet my person. Because a lot of people don't know that the reason why a lot of relationships don't work out, or they're not as successful as they could and should be, is because the two partners that's in it has not reached their highest potential to be a better offspring to their counterpartners or themselves. They're so fixated on what one another is doing and not doing, taking all this energy and time and minding each other businesses that don't pay, that you kind of become like stuck. You become stuck for years and years and years. Like, trust me, I've seen it. So like, with me getting all this information and understanding that nothing is happening to me, but it's happening for me, I honestly live by the 777, because I have faced many challenges where I felt like I was the loser in the situation. But as I said before, as I mentioned, having a good perception about yourself and a different perception from others, that really helped me to grow stronger in my mind. Namaste. Gotta take another sip of my tea. And I grew up watching the Golden Girls with my mother, my grandmother, and whoever. Oh, and one of my best friends. It's like watching a show. It teaches you how to be a good friend and handle certain situations, but it also teaches you that people are human and we love them anyway. So we could have some flawed people. I'm not saying that I'm in isolation or in solitude because there's no good people out there. I just never had the time to literally focus solely on myself because it's like every time I got rid of one situation, I was faced with another situation, whether it be relationship, family, friend. It just hopped around. Literally hopped around, and it was very draining to me. So now for my favorite number of them all, because of one of my mentors, he brought this number out to me, and he really opened up my third eye a little bit more wider than it was already open. And this number is quadruple 8888. So what I wrote down for this number was, and it's a lot, inner power, inner strength, and self-control, and control. So inner power, strength, and control. You could take it however you want to take it, whether it be whatever. Okay. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than you think. You have control over your future. Just believe in yourself. Okay, so just believe in yourself. That is something that I've heard. Just believe in myself and courage is I'm telling you, it's something that I've heard and been experiencing through people my whole time in the Carolinas. I'm gonna get really deep with y'all. I just can't be fake. It's just not in me. Okay, so last week or so, I was sitting on my couch across from me, and I'm looking right at it. I was sitting in this space on my couch, and I was feeling like so defeated because I finally got my apartment. I got my 2 cars. I'm able to work. I'm my own boss. I have time to record and do these videos. Like, I was in realization that God had literally gave me everything, and he's continuing to give me everything that I have ever asked for. And I was hit with this situation. I didn't even know. I had got a ticket a while back when I was living in a hotel. It was before the new year even came in. It was like months ago. And I don't know why it took me so long to have this court date. However, I lost the paper and I forgot it. And as you guys know, I'm an Uber driver. So like, I was driving, and I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about it. Like, I was in a very intense relationship, and it was taking a lot out of me, really, really, really draining me. So I was like set back in my rent. I was trying to get this man out of my house because I felt like his energy was just depleting me. And it's just something I couldn't explain, but I tried to take matters into my own hands, which didn't work, never works. And then I had to get the law involved, especially for people who think they are above the law. So I had to get the law involved, and I ended up getting rid of him. It was like a very high emotional, intense situation because I always hate to be the person that has to be the bad guy, but it's not fair when I'm being affected in a situation. And I'm sorry I'm pausing because this really affects me. But back to it, saying that you have inner power, inner strength, and control. And that situation is where I learned that I had inner power, inner strength, and control. I have been fighting for 2 years and more probably. Like, I completely lost myself in this relationship. And I was just determined to show him that you cannot break my soul. Like, Beyonce had released her album at the perfect time, because I'm telling you, that's when I started to rise. And I realized that I was stronger than I thought I was, because I really thought I was afraid of leaving my relationship, living in fear of what may come about of the situation. So I was just like, I kept thinking about that. But then one day I was like, F that. Like, this is my life. And I'm the narrator. And I'm this. And I'm that. And I just started talking to myself like that. And then I was just like, Because this man did not deserve me at all. Which leads me to the other half of the quadruple eights is abundance and positive changes are set to flow in your direction. So I can attest to that. After I made this decision to be really done, yes, I had to go through a lot of legal situations. I still have to go through a lot of things, but my access in court was granted for me to have a 504 submitted, which is a restraining order. Because I couldn't get nothing done with this man around me. Like, I just couldn't. It will always be a fight every other day. Like, crazy stuff that I'm just above. So, and after I let that go, I had more time to myself to think. I discovered, like, that I want to get into doing DIYs. I've always watched HGTV. This is a perfect place for me to start. And I've started accumulating things and buying things. I've had more sessions and time to talk to myself. Just building a stronger relationship with myself. I pray more. I have more comfortability in talking to the higher ups, in my spirituality. I burn love and faith because that's what I believe in and that's what I have. Love and great faith. I've written out my business plans. I've had time to type my book, type my write-ups for my book. Like, I had time to take out on other things in my life other than focusing solely on this relationship. Like, I literally believe that when you are highly blessed and highly favored, just as much as God loves you and favor you and he gonna send his angels to chase after you, the devil is gonna send his demons to chase after you as well. Because anybody or anything who is highly valued by God is also highly valued by the devil. Remember I told you about 222, the balance. It's the balance. These people that are sent by you, there's some good, genuine people still out there in the world. And there are some people who look like they're these people, but because they once were and they fell. Sometimes we fall and we don't get back up and go back to serve our God. We fall and we take matters into ourselves and we pray and we do all this sorcery stuff and we think we are God. These are these people. So, but they look a lot like these people. They study these people's ways to get into our minds to trick us. You see how that works out? It's so crazy. I had learned that. So on this journey, like, you just gotta pat yourself on the back for real, because it's real out there, y'all. Like, it's really real out there. And I have received so much positive energy and abundance since I let this situation go. Like, even in my day-to-day personal life, it's nothing grandiose. I don't know if I said that right. But the feeling of freedom is something you can't pay for. It's so valuable. And to be around people that know that your character and your energy and your advice and you love the things that you cannot pay for people to be around people that know that those things that you give is more priceless than money. Yeah, I appreciate that. So anybody out there that I've had subscribed to my channel throughout ride sharing or meeting walking down the street or in a restaurant or anywhere, thank you, because thank you so much. Okay, now moving on to, what's my last one? Okay, the last one is quadruple threes. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first used to see 333 or 3333, I'm like, oh God. Because 333, 3 is half of 6. So I'm like, 666 is bad, I thought. I thought 666 was bad too. When I saw 333, I automatically thought like a painful ending for whatever reason. But what it really meant was this: liberation and success. Soon you will be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor for everything that you work so hard for. Things are coming into fruition. And I solely believe that as well. So back to with my situation, after that situation when I had to pay this $4,200 in rent, I was like so sad because I'm like, I was down to like nothing, barely. I barely had any money, but my rent was paid up, so I had a place to stay. You know, that's what people would say. Excuse me. I was sad that I had to go work all over again. Like, I just felt set back. Like, you know, you start saving your money, you start pulling stuff here, this, and then you gotta pull it and start over. Yeah, that's what I felt like. But just to know that I could do it made me feel good. So I was sad, and then like I had received a phone call. I was sitting up in here before I had went to the DMV and stuff to pay to get my license. And I was like sad because I had missed the week of driving. That's $2,000 and some change. And then I'm like, oh my God, I can't even drive on the other apps. I can't make no money. What am I gonna do? Like, I was really sitting there like contemplating. I really didn't want to reach out to my godmom or family members, or I just started panicking, you know, because it's like, damn, I got rid of one problem. Now I'm faced with this problem, and this hit me after I gave my money. Because if I would have known that I had that situation, I would have held on to my money and just paid that and had to go through the little legalities or whatever it has to do with the process, like whatever. So I get this phone call and it's from the office. So I'm thinking like, oh God, like I just gave y'all my money, now what? The lady calls and she's like, oh, I have to report a mistake that was made on our behalf. So now I'm thinking to myself like, is it what I was thinking from the beginning, or am I bugging? But I didn't say nothing. I let the lady speak, because a few months prior back, I knew that I had paid my rent a month in advance. And I'm like, when they sent me the ledger and they said I was behind all these months, I just didn't believe it, because I knew for a fact that I paid for a month in advance and I should only be behind for 1 month going into 2. So she calls me and she's like, oh, I found the check of yours in the office. Would you like for us to apply it to this next month's rent, or would you want to come pick it up? That was God. Okay, that was God. So I go down to pick up the check, and I was like, I couldn't believe that money was there, because sometimes, like I tell you, like our minds are pretty tricked on us. But I knew that I did that. I just didn't stress it. I ain't fight the issue. I ain't complain, go crazy. No, I just sat on it. Because I said, if it was true, it'll come up and it'll be handled. And if it wasn't, I need to buckle down on my stuff and tighten up. But then, lo and behold, there it was. So I wound up paying for everything. On my license, I spoke to the corporate of Uber and sorted everything out. They told me what I needed to do step by step. Like, I was just so like, overwhelmed, because this shit just smacked me out of nowhere. And I'm just like, I don't do nothing to nobody. Like, I literally am out the way. Like, why am I being faced with all these challenges, all these obstacles? Like, damn, I must go be really successful off this mug. So I paid for everything, and then I've been driving DoorDash. They gave me a paper license. I got in good with the guy at the DMV. We shared some personal things about ourselves, and he just gave me a fist pound when I told him how old I was and about my journey. So I think I'm gonna go by and see him, because he really allowed me to skip the line. Like, I didn't really have to sit and wait. Like, I literally came in and out, in and out. So thank you to that man. Thank you so much. Like, thank you. It's the small things that make me feel good. So now I am recording and talking about it because people really need to know the behind the scenes. Like, if you real and you really are meant and you have a purpose to lead people, and you are blessed with that gift, one of those gifts, because I am a person of many gifts. I used to just think that, you know, when I was younger, that people had one gift. But as I grew older, other people started to show me that I have many gifts. So I was just like, I don't know. But this is my experiences with the triple numbers, quadruple numbers, and how I take it. Let me know if you have any relation to any of my experiences, or if you had any strange encounters that made you think, or you always just felt something about numbers, but you really never knew what it was, or whatever. Share your experience in the comment section down below. Let me know that we are intertwined and sync. And just thank you guys so much for watching this video up until this point. This is something that I've always wanted to do, was talk and give my life experiences on camera, and just be me, you know, have that outlet. Because growing up, I never had an outlet to express myself, or to even be understood by the people that I express myself to. So this is like the sole purpose of my channel. I will be doing various amount of things, and I will just learn the proper way, the proper etiquette on the way. My name is Deja Vereen. I also go by the name of The Great Pen Star. I thank you so much for being in tune with me on my journey, and watching my videos. I know they're a little bit clammy, but I'm just getting myself together, putting myself out there and learning as I go. I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys continue to watch, because I am growing with you as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and to my channel. I hope all is well, and I pray that all is well. And until next time. P.S. Also, if you're going through something, just know that you're growing through it. You're growing through it. You're growing through it. You're swimming. You won't be there forever. It's called going through. Have a blessed day, and may the world lead you to whatever direction you need to go. Bye-bye.